Did you know that you are super special? Did you know that you are one of a kind? Did you know that when God made you, He had something so special in mind? And did you know that the devil hates that? Because he knows that God has put inside of you so much. I just want to read wonderful, one of the most favorite, amazing Psalms, Psalm 139. I'm just kidding. You know that one. I know that one, and you know that one. It says, "You created every part of me." So if you are unhappy with any part of your body, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your hands, your feet, your length, your height, your width, if you are unhappy, just think about this. You created every part of me. Just stop right there. I drive a Ford Wildtrak Bucky. Lovely vehicle. Oh my goodness, it's costing me a lot of money to fill it with diesel. But let me tell you something about that Ford Wildtrak. When people that know vehicles, when they see a Wildtrak, they tell you the features of this Wildtrak is this, that, and that, and the next. Because the Wildtrak is definitely not the same as a Toyota. It can be looking the same for me and for somebody else, but it's not, because the designer that designed that Wildtrak, and it took them a time to do it. When they designed that vehicle, they decided to put certain features in it that makes it so unique, and it stands out in comparison to any other vehicles. Now, I know you drive a good vehicle, but it's the same for your vehicle. Your designer, the designer of the Mercedes-Benz, of the Volkswagen, of the Volvo, whoever, whatever vehicle is designed, there's a uniqueness built into that car. Now, before I had the Wildtrak, I had an Audi A5. Oh my goodness, what a lovely vehicle. I love that car. Beautiful, the features, and it's smooth, and it is absolutely a wonderful vehicle. So I'm just thinking of this scripture every time I think of a vehicle or a car that you drive. It says, "You created every part of me." Do you know, if you work in a factory, say Volkswagen, the parts that goes into that vehicle is absolutely designed specifically to fit in to another part in that vehicle, to fit into another part. And I've heard that at the end of the line, when they are testing the vehicle, if it's not 100%, it gets discarded, the whole car. So that is so important to understand. If the manufacturer of a vehicle, of a car, of an aeroplane, of the train, of my fridge, of the lawnmower, if a manufacturer can take so much time to manufacture something that fits into another fitting, to fit in another fitting, that when you start it, it works 100%. And then they still test it. So go back to Psalm 139, verse 13. And I want to talk to you about who created you. Do you really value what's created inside of you? It says, "You created every part of me." Look at your fingers. Look at your face, your eyes, everything, and say, "Lord, every part, even my gallbladder, you created that." Every part of me. You put me together in my mother's womb. Oh, this abortion thing hurts me. Because when you understand the marvelous miracle that you are, when there's a billion little seeds coming together and one egg, and the one egg and one sperm come together, and there you are. It's the first big war that happens because you were that little sperm that came to that egg. And listen here, when that came together, the miracle of the bones, of the sinews, of the muscles, of the toes, of the toenails, of the fingernails, of the ears, of the inside, of your tongue, of your throat, the miracle that happens inside of your mother's womb. It is phenomenal. So he says, you created me. You created every part of me. You put me together in my mother's womb. I praise you. Why? Because I praise you, because you are to be feared. All you do is strange and wonderful. You know, we will respect and honor anybody that designs something. Your technology, your computer. You know, your computer today, you can buy it and it's brand new and it's up to date. 6 months down the line, it's outdated. But God has placed so much in us. And it's so strange how it all fits together. I was saying to my husband today, I'm sitting on the couch. If I want to get up from the couch to walk, I actually don't just get up. It's not as if I just get up and walk. It's a function that happens inside of me that's so strange and so phenomenal, because my body can only react to what my brain tells me. So that's why when you have a scratch here, your brain tells your fingers, hey, there's a scratch, move and scratch there. It's phenomenal how God designed us. It says there in verse 14, I praise you because you are to be feared. All you do is strange and wonderful. I know it with all my heart. When my bones were being formed, carefully put together in my mother's womb, when I was growing there in secret in the dark place, you knew I was there. No? You saw me before I was born. That's verse 16. You saw me before I was born. The days allotted to me had all been recorded in the book before any of them ever began. How phenomenal is this? You're not a mistake. You're not just a survivor. You are phenomenal. You are a miracle. Verse 17 says, oh God, how difficult I find your thoughts. How many of them are there? If I counted them, they would be more than the grains of the sand. When I awake, I'm still with you. And then it goes on, it says here in I just want to go down, verse 23. It says, examine me, O God, and know my mind. My question tonight is, who created you? When we think about this phenomenal design that we are, and then what is in my heart, what's in my mind, how I speak, how I am, it will never copy anybody. I may try and copy another person, but I'm not a copy of nobody. I'm not a clone. Even a duplicate, even a twin that's exactly the same, have different fingerprints, because in every one of us, there's a uniqueness. There's a designer that took the time to design us. But this scripture, this really is important. Verse 23, examine me, O God, and know my mind. Test me and discover my thoughts. Find out if there is any evil in me and guide me in the everlasting way. You know, God created you. The truth is, nobody really knows themselves. You don't even know yourself. How many times have you thought things, you think to yourself, where did that come from? That's not me, I'm not like that. And yet you thought that thought. And sometimes your mind and your thoughts are so disconnected with the realities of what's going on in life. And we can be so easily misled by things that becomes more important, that we forget we are so wonderful. Now, I sometimes think about this thing is that in my career path and being a pastor and being a radio presenter, that I'm not anymore, but I used to be a radio presenter, even hosted my own TV show, and now I'm being in politics as well. All those things coming together, and you think to yourself, how did I ever land there? How did I ever land in the capacity of a teacher? How did I ever land there? I tell you what, when God designed me, in me, He put a future. He placed technology that doesn't grow old. It doesn't date. It doesn't go out of fashion. If I take my old Nokia phone, the 19-foot ones that we had, the first ones, the big ones, and a yellow one, I wouldn't even know how to work it anymore. But if I take that phone, I will miss the new features. There's so many new features now. And yet, they say that our phones, my Samsung, is such an amazing phone that we don't even use a quarter of the features in it because we don't understand the technology fully. My laptop, we don't understand the technology. Well, if the designers of these technologies knew how to put things inside of their technology, in their cars, in the manufacturers set with things, your God, when He designed you, He had a plan for your life. And tonight I'm speaking to you and I'm just asking you to change the value that you have for yourself. Who designed you that we think we're not worth anything? I was just looking at the prices of heart transplant. I don't know what it is now, but it's a lot of money. I have went for my eye ops, both eyes, and that was a lot of money. Just go and buy a new pair of glasses. That's a lot of money so that I can see better. I just thought about if I had to remove this finger and amputate this finger and sell it. You can do it, Then that's a lot of money. Your gallbladder, your heart, your lungs, your legs, whatever. Your body alone as it stands is worth a lot. But what's more valuable is this part, your mind and your thoughts. Because Jesus Christ has to be the number one, because He's the designer. If I look at my cell phone, very interesting, my cell phone, it's a Samsung. Right at the back there, if you can see, it says Samsung. Doesn't say Ford, because you know what happens. When this phone was designed, when it was completed, when it was tested, when they tried it out with a few people, the manufacturer took this phone, and at the back of the phone, they put the stamp says Samsung. You can always refer this phone back to Samsung. But somehow, we don't go back to the Oh, goodness me, my phone just talks to me. How clever is that? We don't somehow understand that the manufacturer that manufactured us, Jesus Christ, wants to know what's going on in our minds. Now, this is what we do. Of course, He knows what's going there. But we try and hide things from Him. He designed you. He deserves the praise. Now, think, if we can get to this place that we understand that there's a book written, it says there's a book written about your life, your book. I listen often to people that died and went to heaven and came back to earth, and they tell the stories, and maybe you've read one of these or listened to one. But there's a specific preacher, his name is Kevin Zadai, went to heaven, died, and then while he was in heaven, he saw a phenomenal thing. He saw angels with big, massive books, paging through the books. And he asked, what are these angels doing with these books? And they said, that is your book. That's his book, Kevin's book, Book of Life. Because every day of that book, of his life is written in that book. Because God's got a plan. The manufacturer of your vehicle, the manufacturer of whatever, sat down and they planned what they expect of this vehicle. Even perfume, they sat down and they write down the tones they want to put in, because they say to this perfume, this is what we want to achieve with this perfume. They have a plan. So much your Heavenly Father has a plan for your life. I think sometimes we allow the alternative, Satan, to come and tell us that plan is not good enough. God didn't mean that when He designed that in you. You know what? There's no mistake. There's no mistake with the Mercedes-Benz. We'll never send a Mercedes-Benz out there and stamp Peugeot on it. Never. The same with our God. But he says, search mine. This is what he says, the psalmist. He says, I want you to go through my mind, Lord Jesus. I think sometimes if we have to sit and we ask the Lord, can you just go through my mind? Just tell me what's going on in my mind. We will be shocked to see the thoughts that we have been entertaining. Because the Lord only thinks thoughts over you that's good and it's not for evil. But somehow you will think thoughts that are bad for yourself. You will think and entertain thoughts it's not good for your body. It's not good for your spirit. It's not good for your life. But you will entertain those thoughts. And that's why he says, search my mind and see whatever thoughts I've got inside of my heart, in my mind. So it is so interesting to know that if I had to go and sit and find what's going on in somebody else's mind, that I will be shocked. Your mind, my mind, it says here, examine me, O God, and know my mind. Can you ask the Lord just to sit and go through your mind? Are you okay with that? What have you been thinking about today? For tomorrow. It says, test me and discover my thoughts. We want, if there's one thing that I want forever in my life, is I want to be pure before the Lord. I want to walk in integrity. I want my life to reflect the goodness of God. Hey, you want that too. So this is it. But then he goes on, he says, find out if there is any evil in me. So tonight or today when you watch this or you listen back, what is in your thoughts? What's in your mind? Any evil? This is what you can ask the Lord. Lord, guide me in the everlasting way. This is the phenomenal thing. He knows you. He knows everything about you. But he wants you to come to him and say, Lord Jesus, guide me in the everlasting way. Test my thoughts. Test my heart. Check me out, Lord. Go through my little computer here. See if whatever I'm storing there gives honor to your name. Is it good for me? Is it good for my heart? Because those things can disturb whatever plan God had for me. If I take my cell phone, and how many people have done that, and I drop it in the toilet? How many people have done that? Mine has never fallen in the toilet. Thank God. What a weird place to fall in. But if it had to fall in water and it would get wet, then my phone would be spoiled. You can try and dry it out with rice and all these things, but your phone will be spoiled. That's why you put good protectors on, that you can protect your phone, because it's an expensive item. But somehow we don't do the same with our hearts. We don't do the same with our thoughts. We allow these things to just come in. But God, who designed you, doesn't want you to think thoughts. Now, the thoughts he's got for you is good thoughts. But he says, think on these things that are pure. So sometimes you have to think what you are thinking about. And you have to cancel the thoughts that you are thinking about. And you have to cancel. You must ask the Lord to test and see what's evil in your heart. Listen here. We can store evil in our minds all the time. With our government now, it's so easy to say things that's evil. So you prophesy whatever's here out of your mouth. It's not going to go well in South Africa. The economy is going to go down. We are going for a bad country and jobs will be lost. And we can speak the things that's in our thoughts. But we should be saying the word of God, the things that the Lord wants us. And so let's go back to that first verse. It says here, Lord, verse 1 of Psalm 139. It says, Lord, you have examined me and you know me. You know everything I do. From far away, you understand all my thoughts. You see me, whether I'm working or resting. You know all my actions. Even before I speak, you already know what I will say. You are all around me, on every side. You protect me with your power. Your knowledge of me is too deep. It is beyond my understanding. Listen here. This is the plan God has for you, that you recognize who designed you, that you recognize and thank your designer for what is put inside of you, and that you ask him that he will help you to walk in an everlasting way. Ask him to deal with your thoughts. Ask him to deal with whatever in your heart, with evil intentions. Ask him to clean you out. Don't put things away thinking he doesn't know about it, but he wants you to ask him. I thank you for watching, and I know that you will enjoy the Psalm 139 as you go ahead and study it and just learn what God has got inside there for you. God bless you.